Hello everyone and welcome back to Avorion. As you can see up in the top left, I've got a lot of materials, but what you can't see, but I will now show you, is I am also, or rather, Ciri is significantly more dangerous. She is very, very powerful at this stage. Now, are you still alive really? Okay, well let's quickly put you out of your misery then. As you can see, the health just dropping like a stone. Up, there we go. And where is Midna? Midna has been set up currently for salvage duty. So please salvage to your heart's content. Now, where are the rest of the enemies? The nearest one is over here. Ciri has got a bit of an upgrade when it comes to her firepower. She's now dealing 2,439.2 Omicron's worth of firepower. Much of that is close range. I've got only a few medium range cannons, like 4K. Most of it is below 2K. Tesla weapons, lightning weapons, and of course some lasers. And that has largely come from me just protecting Midna as she was mining enormous amounts of everything. Oh, I'm also very fast, by the way, but as you can see, I slow down very quickly as well, and we'll get to that in a moment because that is part of an upgrade that has been brought out. We are now working on the latest beta branch once again, and that comes with a few nice little enhancements. Please stop shooting at whatever you're shooting at. Thank you. Let's go deal with you. Mostly, these turrets that I've got right now have come off aliens like this that Ciri basically killed whilst Midna was wandering around gathering ridiculous amounts of trinium. Enough for us to build Tally. Now, Midna should have quite a lot of work to do over here. She's already getting to work. In fact, Ciri has a couple of salvages. They are down here, and I'm going to switch those to auto-fire. They're at the nose of the vessel. Currently, they were being used to help me fight. I was literally salvaging people in the middle of combat. Kind of rude, honestly, if you ask me. I probably shouldn't do that. But Ciri can just take care of things as well, which is always very, very nice. But let me go over some of the changes that have come in. You'll notice Ciri slows down remarkably fast, even when Ciri is moving remarkably fast. Let me demonstrate. So we'll speed right up, and then we'll go around. See those blocks that are currently lit up where my reverse thrusters used to be? I've still got some reverse thrusters. In fact, Ciri has had a little bit of an upgrade overall. One of the things that is preventing me slowing down, we're finally getting to that. Allowing me to slow down. We have got two new blocks. One is a gyro array. That allows you to add rotational momentum without anything else. So you don't need a thruster pointing to the left or pointing to the right. You just put this in there and it uses gyros to give you the momentum to turn your ship. It does draw power. Additionally, we've got flight assist. Now those are inertia blocks, basically subspace inertia blocks. They effectively create subspace friction. Let's leave the science behind because it probably isn't. However, this has been added for those who really like the flight assist. Now, let me bring up the building blocks and I'll show you this in detail. We've got the gyro array, and this is present on quite a lot of the types of blocks and just adds rotational speed. But iron and Avorion, I believe, are the only two blocks that have the inertia dampeners. Creates artificial subspace friction, low durability, high energy consumption. But effectively, when you're drifting in any direction that you're not pointing, these will bring you to an all stop. That is their function. They're quite good at that. Also, we don't need to worry about pirates. You know why we don't need to worry about pirates? Because I've been in this area so long, because there was so much stuff to mine in here. I'll just show you where I am, right there. That I killed so many aliens while the pirates were in the sector that the pirates eventually just liked me. And so I stopped killing the pirates. That does mean that I haven't been making money off the pirates because they are a good source of cash, because the defenders in the sector will pay you for it. The defenders don't seem to really care that much if we kill the aliens. They only care if we kill the pirates. So I've traded increasing my standing with the faction who own this area for not having to worry about pirate raids. But I can still salvage the pirates when they get taken out, which is kind of funny. But back to the ship. Now, the thing with these is they do use a lot of power, but they are great as brake thrusters. I still have thrusters facing the front, and the reason I've got that is so I can reverse. Because these things don't allow you any motion, they just stop you. They create friction so you slow down. They don't give you any capacity to move in any direction. So you still do need reverse thrusters if you ever intend to reverse. And, you know, it's quite a worthwhile thing having, in my humble opinion. But as you saw, it does cost power. Quite a lot of it, in fact, is one of the heaviest power draws on my ship, and I haven't got many of those blocks. I've got 4 smallish blocks. As a result, you can turn anything off. You can turn everything off if you want. I could turn off life support. It's kind of a douche move, honestly. Let's turn it back on. Just letting the crew know who's in charge. But you can't turn off energy generation. It'd be funny if you could, but you can't do that one. But you can turn off everything else in addition to moving them around and giving them different priorities, which is good. If you really don't like having the flight assist, and I happen to be one of those people who don't like it, because I like space feeling like space. I like feeling that if I apply force in one direction, and it's space, there really shouldn't be that much slowing me down. I should just carry on moving. And it allows me to pull out certain combat maneuvers that I happen to really like. But as you can see, you will still slow down a tiny bit. Now, I'm not sure if that's thrusters, or maybe the thrusters are having a tiny effect on that. But as you can see, it's taken me forever to slow down. Now that I've turned that off, though, let's have a quick look. What is my stated brake thrust? It's still telling me I've still got the same brake thrust. But this allows me to do things like give a little bit of a burst of speed in one direction, or a lot of a burst of speed in one direction, then turn around and keep fighting. These are things you can't do with the inertia dampeners. You can't do that. You'll come to an all stop. But with this, if I was faster than someone who was chasing me and I had a weapon that was a longer range, give myself enough of a bump in one direction, turn around and just keep the fight going. They'll chase me, and I can just be killing them the whole time. I'm basically kiting them whilst bombarding them with artillery. Those are the things you can do if you turn flight assist off. You can't do it otherwise. Useful for the AI, though. I will say this. The AI is not very good at flying without flight assist. So if you intend for your ship to be doing anything automatic, which we are going to be doing in this episode, turn it on. Word to the wise. So there we are, back on. And with that, Midna, where are you? Midna, where is my Midna? Midna, there's my Midna. No, that is my Midna, that's someone else. That's a salesman. Where's my Midna? Ah, there she is, okay. She is currently salvaging. Good. We're gonna jump out. Pop. And at this point, I'm going to have Siri guard us. Go ahead. Attack enemies. Now, will she attack the pirates? No, she recognizes them as friends. Good Siri. She is the fastest learning of the ferrets on when biting is appropriate and when it is not. I've not actually taught her when to bite yet. I've kind of been operating under the naive assumption that everyone is my friend. But if that should change at some point, I will see how quickly she learns to bite in specific people. That will be an interesting lesson. But it is time now for us to go ahead and build ourselves a new ship. And I know that's what a lot of people are looking forward to. I am probably going to be trying to build this in a slightly different way from normal. Actually, we need to be near a station for this one because we are going to have fairly high crew requirements. This should be a good enough spot. Now, as I was saying, I am going to be building things a little bit different in this episode based on the feedback that I've had previously. So it's going to be the HMSS Tally. There we go. And I've got a very specific plan for Tally. A very, very specific plan. Right. Okay, so in build mode, I'm going to talk through the main components, and then I'm probably going to just do a little bit more cutting rather than time-lapsing. Because a couple of people have actually given me feedback that they like to hear my commentary on why I'm building the things I'm building, but then not so interested in seeing the shaping. So we'll try it out this time. I would very much appreciate your feedback on the way the building happens in this episode and whether you prefer it that way or not. Now, the first thing, we've got ridiculous amounts of everything, so I think we may as well use it. But I'm going to be needing quite a lot for hangers, so also for armor. So let's not be too over the top. And I kind of like the generator, the neonite generator. So let's go with that one. We'll start off, as I often do, I'm going to match shape, match block, and we're just going to build this up for a little while. So this is going to be a... Oh, I also need to make sure the color is the same, otherwise these blocks won't merge. There we go. This is going to be a carrier style ship, and I'm going to be drawing a bit of inspiration from the main vessel in Homeworld. And now I'm going to merge all these blocks, because then I can just build the block out a little bit. We're going to want an awful lot of power. An awful lot of power. I could adjust it as we go, but let's merge this. I like having a central block. I do, but I'm thinking maybe making it a little bit wider on the sides would be a good move. Let's take it out 2 on each side, and then that'll be our generator. That should give us enough oomph for everything that we need. Now I'm going to try and put all of my functional blocks internal to the vessel with access ports, specific armor plating that I can just remove, because if later on I want to change an entire block's composition to that of, like, maybe later on I've got so much trinium, I want to upgrade this to a trinium generator, I could do that with a minimum of fuss. So bear in mind that that's the way we're going to be building this one. Now already we require 5 mechanics to run this, and we'll be generating 23 gigawatts of power. Not quite enough, I'm going to say. I would like it to be about the 30 mark. Let's just get it. That'll do, I guess. And there we are. That is enough power for me. We're going to be using a lot, or at least have a lot available to me, because Tally is going to be a carrier not just for fighters, but also for crew. I want Tally to be a bit of the mothership, hence why I'm going to be drawing my inspiration from Homeworld. Right, we are going to want, next up, probably a very healthy amount of energy storage as well. This, I'm going to use... Where am I going to put the access point for this? I'm thinking somewhere at the back we'll have the access point, which means I don't want to build up too much on the outsides. Sure, okay, let's put this over here. This is a generator. I don't want a generator. I want a... Where are you? I want container. There we go. And we'll shrink this down. We want a good bit of storage here. I would say that's good enough. It's not going to take us too much to build that, so yeah, sure. We'll get that in there. Next up, we are going to want the shield. Now, the shield is going to be made of trinium, and I'm probably going to have 2 versions of this. In fact, at the back, that's not quite deep enough, I would say. We do want this to be a little bit deeper, but we'll see how we can do with that. So now I want some shielding. So we'll pop these down at the bottom, and we definitely don't want them to be that big. These take a lot of power to put in, but they give us an awful lot of shield power when we're done. So let's pop 2 of them up there, and then 1 there, 1 down there, then merge everything. There we go. This is going to have an awful lot of protection. So this is the main block of the vessel. Now, for the next big part to be added in here, we are going to be adding in... Let's see, where are you? There we are. The titanium hangers. Now, this isn't going to be symmetrical. I know that is going to ruin some people's days, and I am deeply sorry about that, but it's going to be the way it is. However, I wanted to have a similar kind of look and feel to the way that the Homeworld had. So we're either going to go with green or we're going to go with blue, and I think we'll go with blue. But to that end, we're going to need to shrink in a little position. These are going to be dotted along the side. We're going to have 1 large hanger on this side. Something in the realm of this. And then we're going to surround it by other items. So this is going to be a Trinium crew quarters, because I want it to look like they're docking, and these look amazing. They look like little ports that something might be docking into, but we are going to want some lighting around it as well. So what I'm thinking is We could go with an energy container, some additional energy containers, or maybe just some additional generators. But effectively, we're doing this for looks more than anything else. I want it to match the shape of the block that I'm attaching it to. And then we're going to shrink it down to something like this on each side. There we go. Down the bottom as well, something like that. And then we'll fill in the corners as well. And this will be our hangar section. We are going to have quite a lot of fighters. Tally, my idea for Tally's design is to have a very long-range capable ship. It's going to have guns, obviously, and they will be cannons, generally speaking. But also wings of fighters, not just a couple, wings of fighters. Now we'll merge everything. There we go. That's a nice little shape there. We can then dot this shape around elsewhere. So if I select everything, there we go, and then copy, I should be able to just paste this in down here, right there. There we go. And I want to make sure that this is built out of trinium. There we go. So I want this to be placed on the other side. We're going to have... well, honestly, I want more than just one on this side. So we're going to shrink this down. Oh, did I not select everything? I must not have, unfortunately. Okay, well, let's recopy that then. And then paste it over this. Have I got both of them? Let me just delete this one. I should be able to delete that. There we go. Delete this one and then paste it in. There we are. So we've got our... oh, right, of course. I had that selected and I pressed delete again. I pressed delete one too many times. So we'll have the second bay around about here, I'm thinking. Something like that. And because it's all made of trinium, it's fine. Over on this side, I'm probably going to go with something similar. I'm going to use the position, the border between those two tiles to line this up, so I know it's the same on each side. I will have... we could go with 3, I suppose, on this one, if I really wanted to. Something along these lines. About there as well. So we'll have 3 hangers on that side. I might change one of them up, make it a slightly different shape, something like that. But now we need to see how much it is going to cost. It's going to cost a lot, more than likely. What I want to do here is have this hanger. We no longer want to match the block. We want to try and grow it to the same dimensions and then make it deep. So something like this. Now, how many fighters... wow! +9 to... That's an awful lot of fighters I'd be able to have in there. Oh, well, this isn't fighters themselves. This is the space for fighters. We don't need it to be that big, clearly. Oh, that's good then, because I won't need the armor that thick. Probably something like that. There we go. That's what it looks like on the inside now. Maybe I need to overlap it just a little bit because I'm losing some of the definition of the lights around the side. Let's see what we can do to make that work a little bit better. So we want to take it out just a tad and up just a tad like so. There we are. That looks so much nicer. I might just leave that as a cavity in there. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Now this one is... I guess I'm going to have to make these each bespoke because the dimensions are going to change between each one. For example, that one will fit okay. There we go. That looks wonderful. Now we just put this one on. Actually, since all of these share a size, it won't actually be a problem. Oh, are these too small? Are these not adding? Well, we're up to 59, so let's see. 73, that's good. Now, the size variable is not how many fighters you've got. It's the size quality of the fighters that you've got loaded into the base. So right now, we can have an array of fighters equal to 87 space worth of fighter in our hangars, which is fine. And I think that's going to look glorious. For those who aren't au fait with Homeworld, basically this is going to be a very vertical design. Additionally, oh, what just happened there? I probably caught someone in a bit of a hit, or rather, Siri caught someone. It wasn't me. I did nothing wrong. Oh dear, over there, really? Are they attacking that Siri? So, where are you, Midna? Is Midna down there in the middle of this fight? Midna cares not about combat raging around her. She has been told to do a job, and she will damn well do it. And doom to anyone who gets in her way. Well done, Midna. exactly the kind of ferret that I want on my team. Right, so the front is probably going to be the most decorated area, but we are also going to need some room for thrusters at the back. And then the top will be curved slightly. I'm not sure how I'm going to settle on that. I might just have it come to a point, or have more of a crescent shape, or more of a flat curve, as with Homeworlds. Basically, the curve came down like that, but was flat completely on the rear end, whereas a crescent has more of an exaggerated curve, more well, like a crescent, I suppose. I don't need to explain that to you. The engines, though, I'm thinking that I want to make those particularly nice. We might design those specifically. We'll actually design an engine component. And the sort of idea I'm going to show it off here, and then I'll probably cut and finish the design myself, because I've got a funny feeling this is going to be one that I need to experiment a lot with. But the general idea would be to have an engine. We'll do it on a small scale, so it's just cheaper for me to finish it off. And then I'll design the bigger one. So we'd have an engine, something like that. And then we would go ahead and just build up around it. I'm liking this little music, this soundtrack to my building. I approve of this combat. Around the insides we would have these curves. You can just imagine that for now. But this is where it becomes interesting. We will use a hologram block, because the engine always looks the same way. There's nothing I can do about that. That's the way the engine wants to look, and well, the engine gets to look the way it wants. But what we would do in here is we would shrink this down. I don't want it too wide. Let's actually go for middle of block positioning. That'll help. Then we grow this out onto each side. So if I can get that in the middle of the block, there we are, and then up and down as well. Something like this. So we've got a little hologram in there. Maybe I'll actually go, I don't know. I could use light blocks inside, or I could just use a light block here, I suppose. Something like this. If I use a trinium light block, and in fact it no longer needs to be nearly as deep, but we'll play with that later. So we've got a bulky white block. I don't know. See, the nice thing about the trinium is that you get the color effect you want. Does that give it any kind of... no. Drat. I may need to try and fiddle with that to get the right kind of look, because ultimately I want a color in here. I want a very specific color. I wonder if I can paint colors. Let's see, can I paint this a blue? Oh, I can! Fantastic! I approve! So we would shield the illusion of a thruster, a large, colorful thruster, and then I would shape the blocks around it to give it a more circular appearance. So you can imagine the blocks on the outside all shaped correctly. I'm painting them, aren't I? Yes, I am. What a dip. Let me just fix that then. Bump, 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 and bump. And, of course, you know, I understand that I would go to much more effort to paint this, to shape this a little bit more than just a blocky, edgy kind of surface that I've got going on here. But the idea would be something along the lines of... actually, I'm going to want it... There we are. And then shrink this face in. Like so. And we would just have something like that. It would look more like a circle. I'd go to the effort of adding much more definition to the shape. But we could make thrusters any shape that we particularly want. You don't need... Although it's a thruster block, it's going to work exactly the same way buried in there as it would elsewise. And we can have a really nice looking engine section at the back. You can add extra lights, extra rings, different colors inside. We can really, really get creative with the way that we build these thruster sections. But the idea would be a large blocky thruster behind with some nice shaping, some painted light blocks, maybe even some hologram blocks, maybe even some rings of light blocks within it to make it look like a much more detailed engine component. We would have large ones of those along the back. So I'm going to cut the video here, and I will go ahead and design one of these engine sections on the back, and I will bring you back when I've got my finished design, which we can then use just to cut and paste to all of the other sections. So see you soon. And welcome back. Wow. What started off as a simple idea in my head has ended up taking me over an hour to make, but I am pretty happy with the results. Let me show you. So, let's actually go into build mode so I can go closer. We've gone from this humble little blocky block to this. What I feel is an engine worthy of the tally. It is vastly more time than is probably worth it for almost anyone but me. I am so pleased with this. Let me just give you a look at how I created that effect, because it's not obvious initially. But effectively, I had to create a template, which I've made in here. This is for metal, this is for light. You could do it with either or and then just replace the blocks just with a single template, but I found for convenience this was easier. I layered it down. It's basically like adding layers to a cake, if you like, or layers to a piece of art. You know, you start in the depth, in the very, very far background. You just add more layers as you go on, changing the colors as necessary. But yeah, so it's multiple layers of light blocks. In fact, let me just refocus so it's a little bit easier to see. If we look at there, as you can see, each layer of light gets deeper and bigger to create the illusion of depth. And because it's such a uniform color, you really get lost in it. You can't quite tell how deep it is. If you're wondering what this is there for, it's so that I could position each part of the template exactly and then just scale it as I needed to. I needed this central pin to act as my anchor point. Otherwise, it gets really complicated. In fact, most of the time, I've spent about 2 hours. The first hour was me learning how to build something like this, and then the second hour was me deciding on the design. A process that I'm not going to have to repeat, thankfully, because I can template everything, but it was really, really worth it for me to learn how I can make artistic designs like this. But this is the thruster section, and we're probably going to start seeing lots of my designs from now on, because after spending that much time on it, I'm probably not going to leave this be. And we can change the colors very, very easily to make this look really, really nice. In fact, that little color there, not exactly my favorite. I think we need something a little bit lighter. Let's go with Starlight Steel Blue. Now, this is one of the problems, though, that we have with these things. I mean, you know, that isn't actually that bad. It's like a brilliant white and then get colder and colder as it gets further away from the actual, you know, the core of the engine. But the thing with this is with light blocks, not so much with hologram blocks. Hologram blocks take color much better, but light blocks have a very limited palette. Like, for example, these two blues, exactly the same color on a light block. There's no difference whatsoever. I was really disappointed because I wanted it going through these three blues. I thought, oh, those look amazing. But it's so easy to change the color to whatever you want, though. That looks garish. That one actually doesn't look as bad. You could have a pink one in the back. You can do what you want. Let me find, where was it? Light steel. Wait, I've lost my color. No, what have I done? I've lost my color. Star Slate Gray. There we are. Starlight Steel Blue. Oh my goodness. But anyway, that is the block that we're going to be using going forward. Oh my goodness. I just needed to bring you back, just partly to boast and also partly to complain about how long I spent on this. I am such a dip. And welcome back. As you can see, I have been very busy in your absence. I have made a start on quite a lot of things. The main part of it has been shaping the front. As you can see, I have put a fair old bit of effort into creating an interesting looking design. We've got light scaffolding. I really like what I've done with the scaffolding, actually, and that bears drawing specific attention to. It feels like the scaffolding is... well, it's not specifically there to support the structure, but it's adding a little bit of extra integrity to the structure. I've also started adding in the inertia dampener. And again, I don't like flying with it, but it is incredibly important to have it when it comes to your AI control ships. And since I'm not always going to be in control of Tally, it makes sense for me to add these on now. Right, the front is where we've got our crew quarters. As you can see, I've kind of spread them out across, and we're going to be working on this little part because after that, I mean, having the inertial dampeners, while I might not want to use it, I want to build it into the design. I want it to look like it's there for a reason. And this central area, I always wanted to put something here because of the whole connection with Homeworld. Let's see. How are we going to do this? I need another plate, so that's going to be the start. So let's go ahead and start moving this in. We're going to match blocks, and again, press F to focus the camera. I've also popped a little forward-facing fighter bay just for giggles there. I've got a reasonable amount of brake thrust, but not nearly enough for this ship, because I intend to make it go fairly quick. Right, we'll shrink that down a tad, and in fact, well, how far out does that one come? It's hard for me to say for certain, but I'm going to say something like that, maybe a little bit further out, but I can do that with shaping blocks. We are going to want to bring this on the sides, and at this point we're going to be using the mirror. Now, one thing I did want to address is that, how does the mirror become your enemy as your design becomes more complicated? The amount of times that I've had to completely scrap what I was working on because the mirror had started to make things just fall out of alignment is unfortunately quite significant. So a word to the wise there, as you start dealing with more complicated designs, you may want to start relying less on the mirror than you had previously. No, I don't want it to be completely mirrored there. I want a little bit of a gap. You know what? That was an accident, but I think I can make it work. Another part that I've come to realize about the building in this is that quite a lot of it is just something happens and you're like, you know what? That actually looks pretty good. I wasn't going to do that, but I think I'll keep it. I am now realizing just how annoying this is going to be. Still, one thing we can do is we can go to block middle. Let's find view, block middle. The combat music is because Siri is beating things up constantly. Right, we will draw that all the way down. No. All the way down. There we go. Till about there. Now, the reason for that is so that I can try and use this as a guide, because that's got to be effectively in the middle of this block. In fact, really? Is that wow. That is some crazy luck. And that is all it is. It is just luck. Let's just double check this. Let me shrink this down. But if this actually works, wow. Is it in the right place? Is it genuine in the right place? Let's zoom right in. Does that look right? You know what? I think it is. My lord. That, absolutely. Luck, not judgment. Luck, not judgment. But there we go. So we can just have this affixed to the middle block. There we are. So we've got our central points now pointing towards one another. Excellent. Now, again, this part is bespoke. You need to see what you're working with for this bit. I will have these turn to the side. I will also turn on mirroring mode because I'm not a scrub. I learn from my mistakes sometimes. There we are. And I'm going to focus, actually, I want the focus on this block, and then I'm going to go along the Z. There we go. Turning which block is the focus for your mirror mode. So useful. So incredibly, incredibly useful. And because I know that this is perfectly positioned, well, we can't quite do that, unfortunately, because this isn't quite the same shape of block, but I know that it's going to reach out to the same point on the other side, so that's all fine. And that is not quite what I wanted to do. There we go. This one will probably have much the same problem. Yeah, so we'll just bring them out a little bit down there. There we are. So now let's think. They're slightly different, the top and the bottom, and that is fine. Honestly, I think that looks quite nice. Actually, no. Let's change this up just slightly, because there is a fairly distinct difference between these. We want to shrink this down. Once we've got that up to 25 again, I want to shrink this. Don't match the block. I want to shrink it down to a single block tall. Can I get this in position? No. Well, drat. Oh, actually, yes, I can. Haha! I win! The other part about building in this game is you're often fighting against... no, you're not. The game makes it really easy. The big thing is learning what the game is capable of doing and how it wants to do it, I have found. We are going to match these blocks down here and create some nice little menaces with spikes. Because why not? Damn it. This may not be a dwarven ship, but maybe one day we'll have dwarves on it. So I want to make it nice and homely for them. So there we go. We've got some nice bits there. And now we need to decide how the central part is going to work. Now, my initial idea is to have lighting. So that there's lights kind of aligned with this. And welcome back. There we go. I actually think that came out quite well. Got a little laser beam going straight down the middle and some dancing lights around it. Very, very high-tech kind of quality to it. It would be lovely if those lights were actually dancing, if they could flicker or just wobble a little bit, but, you know, that's splitting hairs, really. Now, it is time for us to start working on the thrusters. And I've got two versions of this thruster. One, which is solid and actually has an engine as a part of it, and one that does not, so that you can scale this to the situation you want to apply it to. I don't want just one huge long engine at the back. I think that would look a little bit silly. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to link that in. We're going to mirror mode it. Then I'm going to take it off block middle. I don't want it to be linked to the middle of the block. Something like this. I would like engine clusters, I think. That would be quite nice. So a large engine there. Then maybe a couple of smaller ones built further down. Now this is going to necessitate me building up the armor at the back, unfortunately, unless I take back some of the components at the rear. I'm not too fond of that idea, so we'll just work with this one for now and see what we can do. So if we take the cap component, now I'm going to tell it to link on the light block, which is on the inside. In fact, let me just build this somewhere in a moment. There we go, just so I can illustrate that again. Not on this side though, because that would be difficult for me to delete. We'll build it on this side once more. So there we are. Now, the part that I'm anchoring on right now is this light block in the middle. So this will be the perfect fit as the cap, because that is where the exhaust part of the engine is going to come from. So we'll just delete that now. And then link it to that again. So all I need is for this, we want block middle on these and also turn that off. And then just expand it out until it fits. So let's just scale it up in all dimensions. Keep going a little bit, maybe. There we are. That now fits on. Let's have a look at how that will actually seem. A little bit too big. So let's pull that right down. Something like that would do. So there we go. So that's one of the main engines. That's the second main engine. And I think that looks quite nice. We can... honestly, you could add loads of these on just for aesthetics, though I would recommend against that. Our entire ship was about 450 blocks before I added these two on. It is now 850. These are expensive components, and maybe in the future I'll make ones that are much less complex to pull that down. But this does give us a nice little area at the back where I can add a few more odds and sods just to make this look a little nicer. I would like some more of these going though, so let's go ahead, and I think we could have perhaps some smaller neonite engines, though I'm thinking titanium engines instead. I think they'd actually look a little bit nicer. So let's pop back down the mirror mode and shrink these right down to about there, ideally square, and we'll shrink them a little bit. Yeah, something like this. I would like thruster nests, basically, and something like that, and then one in the middle about there, perhaps, would do. There we go. That doesn't add a lot of thrust, and ooh, we'd be adding 6 of these constructs to it. That would be so expensive. Yikes. Before I do that, let me just go and see what a complex looking ship is. Like, where's Siri? That is not Siri because it's claiming things. Oh. Hello. Hello. Did you just come to hang out? I think you may have. Very well. Come over here. We don't need to do anything right yet. I'm going to just jump on Siri and see how many blocks Siri is made up of. Because we still have a lot of shaping to do on this ship. Oh my lord. Siri is 431. Yeah. Okay, so we're double as complex as Siri, but I like to think that's okay because, you know, much bigger ship. Shush. Yeah, okay. So we'll pop that on there. Prepare for lots of blocks. Boom. It's about 200 blocks. Really, that many? Actually, that does not surprise me. The reason why it doesn't surprise me is each one of those layers in the cake is made up of lots and lots of blocks. Thin, tiny blocks. So not a very efficient use of space, I guess. We'll see. Though I do like that these ones are the deeper types of engines. That actually looks quite nice. Let's see if I can't pull that down a little bit by merging. I pulled it down by 200. It's a saving. Oh my goodness. This is over twice the size of City, and it isn't even remotely finished. There's still so much shaping to go on. But I'm going to get to that right now. I'll start off with the back and try to bring this in line a little bit, and then the main parts left then will be the sides. This has turned into a big build. I've been recording for about 4 hours so far. Whew. There's going to be a lot of editing involved in this one. And welcome back to what doesn't look like I've done very much until you turn it around, and there we go. One side complete, though honestly I'm not satisfied with the shape. I need to extend the shape out, but that's something that I'll probably work on in the future, because right now it's more like a brick rather than a crescent. But eventually I'd like to extend out the side more up to around about there so that we've got much more pronounced shape to this vessel. But for the time being, that's one side completely armoured and including a couple of fancy bits. So we've got some landing lights for my fighters as they're coming back into dock. We've also got a wee communications array just down there. And in here, this is going to be one of the access ports. I'm still debating whether I'm actually going to put a cover on it, or whether I'll just leave it like that. Simply put, I can easily see all the systems that I need to be able to see in there. Now, as for the back, as you can see, I've shaped things around just a little bit so that our engines look nice. I've even added in some lighting there as well. So all that remains now for Tally is for me to armor this side and leave an access point over here as well so that I can see all of these systems, and then we're done and this vessel is finally ready. In terms of the stats on the vessel, got quite a lot of card points, 6 in total at the moment. It is very unlikely that we're going to reach the volume needed to access this. This is 12.5 million meters cubed with a volume. We are only on 2.48 million. As far as our hull, 38,000, our shield 76,000, 1,302 blocks so far. The brake thrust is 58.6 meters per second, and the thrust is not much less than that at 55.9 meters per second. Maximum velocity, not too bad, though this is meant to be a big ship. I'm not going to go into any real effort to make it really fast, or I think your pitch and roll, they're kind of where I want them to be. I could, of course, make them better, but I don't want to. The reason for that is that this is meant to feel like a gigantic whale of a ship. No offense to poor Charlie, she's actually very, very lithe. She's probably the smaller of the three sisters. But in terms of the carrier, it's meant to be vast, and it should move as if it is. We have got a grand total crew quarters of 155, and we have 100 fighters. Why is that 12 out of 100? Have I got... I can't possibly have anything on there. No, I don't. That's very curious. Very curious. Maybe that's 12 fighters it can manage? I have no idea. Or maybe that's the amount that it can launch, la la la. Who knows? But, you know what? I think Tally should probably have a cargo bay. None of my ships have the capacity to carry cargo, so you know what? I'm going to make that a feature over here. Yeah. Okay, at any rate, I will bring you back when it's ready, and we'll have a little bit of fun flying around with it, though not too much. Of course, alternatively, I could crash, just as I tried to show you all of the details. Let's see if that happens again. Please don't. No! Ha-ha! Fantastic. I was very worried, since I've just built a gigantic ship with many, many blocks, 1,394. In fact, but as you can see, there's lots of little embellishments, some scaffolding with lights on, just probably to, you know, pinging. We need to have lots of communications in order to manage our fighters. We've got some extra integrity fields at the back there. We have lots of scaffolding here and there. Our cargo bays over there. I'd love to paint these, and I probably will. I think Tally definitely needs a lick of paint here and there. We've got the landing lights for the fighters down there, the laser beam, which I absolutely love, and just lots of little embellishments here and there. And that's what's taken up the time. By far, what's taken up the time. Eventually, I'm thinking maybe adding some extra engines at the top, because that would give us more of a crescent shape. It would give us more of the curve. Possibly. Something to look at. Now, unfortunately, whenever the Galaxy reloads, which in single player is whenever you leave the game and come back in, it refreshes all the cargoes. Ah, poop. Mega poop. That is unfortunate. That is like ridiculously unfortunate. Yeah, Tesla fighter really close range as well. The cannon fighter, not bad. They could actually engage from a reasonable range. Would they though, is the question. I'm willing to give it a shot. Let's get in there. Let's pick up some cannon fighters, and then we'll try to clear this sector. Maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to. No promises though, because it's going to be bloody hard. I am remarkably sad that the salvages are gone. That is something that will prey on my mind for a little while. We can, of course, quit and come back in until it cycles back around, but nah, I don't feel like doing that. Instead, we will dock and see what we have. Now, hire crew. Going to the... You know what? I'm going to take an extra captain, just for posterity. And we're also going to need a bunch of pilots. There's 8 pilots there. How many can be in a squadron? New squadron. Well, there can be quite a lot. Okay. This squadron shall be called... Wildcards. Props to anyone who gets the reference. I will hire all of the fighters. There we go. Now, I believe the fighters are a professional group. You cannot have untrained fighters, as far as I'm aware. And now the cannon fighter. They are expensive. I can only afford 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is, I can only have 8 presently. Please don't crash into me. It's incredibly rude, you know. Yeah, just you leave me alone, you. Scallywags, a lot of them. Right, we need to find an advantageous place to begin this combat. There's 2 isolated up there. I think that might be where we're going to go, Siri. You and me. Let's be on our way, and we'll try and clean this area out before we move on. Because, you know, it's nice to have a home system. And I have bound to the shipyard here, so, you know, I'd like that. I'd like that a lot. And then once we've actually got... Well, once we engage, I'll tell... Actually, once we get up there, I could tell Midna to start salvaging. She'll pick a wreck and then start heading for it. I can tell Siri to engage enemies. There won't be enemies at the time. And then I can attack. Now, in before, these fighters are complete rubbish and I lose them all. Like, straight away lose them all. You on your way? You are moving, so I can only assume yes. You're definitely on your way because you're moving fast. Okay, good. Right, what we got up here? Let's scout them out. You're a little bit damaged. Good. What about you then, you scallywag? You are not. So we'll pick on you first, since you're going to be the easier one to take out. We'll just slide on over like a not-so-subtle assassin. Not-so-subtle space brick, if you prefer. And we are going to wait for Siri and Tally to catch up. Right, burn thrusters. There we go. Okay, we're in a good position. How far away are you? You're moving at a fair old clip. You'll be here in plenty of time. And Midna close behind. Now let's have a quick look while we're waiting. Are all of these exactly the same? I imagine they are. There are apparently ways that you can custom design your fighters. It's very, very janky though and requires editing of files, so no for that. But I have mostly got missile launchers and turrets. And over time, I would like to actually move Tally to one specific type or other. Right, Midna, you're not very far away at all. Time for you to get your orders. Salvage. And you should immediately change course. Yep. And Siri. Orders attack enemies. Okay. Now, this is what's going to happen. We're going to shoot this scallywag, and then you're going to get involved, okay? Okay. Pow! Missile launches away. Oh, wow. Look at that kickback. Tally barely moved. But that little ship over there, that little ship was sent spinning. I approve. Oh, that feels good. Missiles are away. This is glorious. Of course, Siri is going to be better at this. She's almost twice as good at it, actually. But, you know, we're going to do our best. Hey, you, over there. Come back, you scallywag. I do like those missiles. And they just keep going, do they? Oh, okay. That's poor design, honestly. I'd probably put some sort of guidance computer on there that if the target got destroyed, that they should just, I mean, ideally find a new target, but realistically should just blow up. Because you don't want to have a bunch of missiles just off in... Oh, wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's so good. I approve. I approve so much. Oh, my goodness. All of the levels of approval. Every single one of them. Let's try and break through the shields. Now, Siri is significantly better at breaking shields than I am. I hope my fighters don't, you know, get really close up, considering they've got a crazy long-range weapon. Why are they getting so close? That just doesn't make any sense at all. Makes no sense. Why, fighters? Why are you so dumb? Okay, well, I'm fairly happy with the amount of firepower, though. That constant stream of missiles, that is... I can only imagine that that is literally just an intergalactic declaration of war waiting to happen. We're going to shoot missiles at something, we're going to miss, they're going to keep going, eventually they're going to hit a planet. It's going to be wretched. Tally's going to feel horrible. There we go. And someone will finish her off, surely. Oh, hello there. They're all rather close. I think I've really got to lead with these missiles. They are not precision weapons. But there are some guided missile variants of the missile launchers that I've seen, and those would be glorious. But yeah, I'm just going to wait for my missiles to finish doing a lot of damage. There we go. And they'll carry on doing damage. That's going to take some getting used to, but I'm pretty happy with how this is going. How is Siri doing? I can only assume that Siri is doing bloody amazingly. Yep, as usual. Well done, Siri. I would like more pilots, please. I require 3 more. I lost one, you see. Totally didn't die, I just lost him. I misplaced the pilot. He was there 1 minute, gone the next. Bloody pilots. Oh, really? Scallywags. There we go. Yeah, I've got 7 pilots. I need another 3. Now, it wouldn't be possible to launch all of my fighters at the moment, but then I can't imagine a time when I would want to launch all of them. I'd want to launch them depending on what's going on, is all I can imagine. Right, let's just tuck in there. And how many? Oh, perfect. What? Ah! Keep doing that. One day it's going to get me in trouble. Absolutely going to. Yes, please. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now, the other reason why I wanted to have Tally have like a large collection, if you like, of a professional crew is that they'll train up. She can train the crew whilst just out and about, and then when I build a new ship to add to the fleet, then they can get professional crew right from the onset. You know what? Yeah, let's try and help out here. In fact, it's going to be so much better if I launch the wildcards. Go, go, go. Engage. That is because I need to slow down first. There we go. Perfect. I'll join in a little bit. There we are. And they're gone. So, wildcards. Return, defend me. And is that it? Are they all dead? Oh, that's fantastic. I approve. There was a time when we would not have been able to take out that kind of force here, but no, I'm pretty happy with that. Are they all going to dock? Oh, they're all coming in. They're moving with a purpose. Are they going to go to different hangars as well? Oh, that's glorious. It reminds me of Homeworld. Oh, perfect. Okay, I cannot think of a better place to wrap up this episode. My God, it's been a long one for me. About 8 hours in total. On the plus side, when I'm just doing adventuring episodes, much better. It's like an hour or something like that to get a whole episode recorded. But when I'm doing a building episode, especially on a big ship like this, yeah, it takes a little bit longer. I'm gonna have to reconsider how I record these things, because that takes it out of me. Also, I didn't get anything else done today, but I hope it was worth it in the end. Do let me know in the comments, as I mentioned earlier, whether you like this kind of editing where I'm mostly just cutting between shots rather than doing a time-lapse. I mean, for those who really like the time-lapses, understand that a time-lapse of today's episode wouldn't have been possible anyway. There is no reasonable way that I could condense 8 hours worth of footage into an episode. That just wouldn't happen. It would have to be moving so fast that it wouldn't make any sense to you anyway. So, hopefully, it's not too much of a bother, but I do hope that you've all enjoyed at any rate, and will be joining me in the next episode, which will probably be in a couple of days' time. These episodes do take a little while, so it's easier for me to record them a little bit slower. But, yes, so remember to like if you liked, sub if you haven't, and let me know what you think of Tali in the comments. But until next time, take care, everyone. Secret bit. Well, not really secret, since it's clear for anyone that the video hadn't ended yet if they look at the timeline. But yeah, I can't stop playing this game. I've got a problem. Also, the shape was really annoying me. I haven't completely fixed it yet, but I've certainly gone to some length to correct it a little bit more. So we've got a top and a bottom section that's been enhanced. Some more details there. We've got all of the weapons on this are now cannons. That has dropped our firepower by a fair bit, but it's given us massive range. Also, I've added some extra engines on as well. So, all things told, yeah, I think Tali is more or less finished. I mean, it's never really going to be finished. I was still tweaking Siri even earlier today when I was recording the bulk of this episode. So, yeah, none of the ships are ever completely finished. However, I've kind of gone to war with the pirates again. Well, kind of, and then not again. Because they... Well, I wanted to increase my standing with the home faction. Because, well, Midna was a little bit overzealous. Let's just put it that way. You'll also notice I've now got 3 different wings of fighters. Let me quickly show that, actually. I have got the Dwarf Squad, which are my miners, the Wildcards, which are my fighters, and then the Scavengers, which, as you might imagine, are my salvagers. So, I guess we'll end the episode with an actual proper fight, just a tiny one. Why am I getting any closer? I don't need to be close. That's the whole point of me having cannons. Oh, well. It'll be fairly easy to finish these guys off. It's quite a volley from Tali. Though this one is refusing to die now. That was curious, to say the least. Let's go about there. There we go. Very odd. Sometimes it does this. It just doesn't seem to take damage. It's rather curious because there shouldn't be any lag. Obviously, I'm playing in single player. Oh well. Actually, Siri, I'm not going to be a kill stealer. You can go ahead and have that one. And about there. I just love this volley of shots from Tali. It is incredibly satisfying. Also, it rock ships around. Siri, you're taking too long. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to kill steal. Oh, apparently I'm not. Apparently my poor aim is keeping my word for me. Good guy, poor aim. I love the way that the shots cause these big ships here to just spin out of control. Though it is incredibly frustrating when you're trying to hit them. Okay, it started to not take any damage again. Let's creep a little bit closer, shall we? I should be able to hit with more or less every single cannon that I have here from this range. They all more or less 7 7k, so there we go. And finally we'll finish you off as well, shall we? Can I actually get a... Oops. I shouldn't have shot that one out. But this gives us an opportunity to launch the scavengers. And for me to then tell them, if I can select myself... scallywags. I cannot select myself. Okay, well, what I need to do then is go all the way out, select myself, come all the way back in, and then F on myself, and carrier orders, salvage. Now my fighters should do more or less like Midna, and just move from one wreck to the next wreck, and just slowly, or quickly, as the case may be, pull them all apart. But that is it for this episode, for real now. Also, you know, obligatory misfire of all of my hulking great cannons. But I hope you have enjoyed the episode, and do remember to leave me feedback down below regarding the way that I cut this particular episode and recorded it. I am very, very interested, but that's it from me. So until next time, take care, everyone.